Beta testing a stock is simply a correlational model that we turn into a best fit line. And if the slope of that line, if the absolute value of the slope of that line is greater than 1, that means that that stock is more volatile. What that means is it's riskier. It goes up higher and lower than the S&P 500 stocks. So the S&P 500 stocks are 500 companies that they don't change a lot. Okay, so they're kind of resistant to depressions and spikes and valleys. They don't move very much. So the rest of these stocks we're going to compare them to. So we're first of all, let's compare stock A to the S&P. All we're going to do is we're going to make a scatter plot first. So let's highlight, insert, scatter plot, scatter plot. There's our scatter plot. Right click any point. We're going to add, hold on, let me get it so you can see that. Sorry. Get over here, you. Right click any point. And then we're going to add the trend line. And then you get this blue box over here. I'm sorry, gray box. And you're going to scroll down to the very bottom. Hold on, this is giving me problems here. We're going to put the equation on the chart and the R squared on the chart. Okay. Click back over here, and you have it right here. This is the equation of the line. This little blue dotted line, it's a best fit line, mathematically least squares the line of regression. And the slope is negative 0.66. So in other words, we take the absolute value of that. So that means that stock A is nowhere near as volatile as the S&P. So that means it's pretty steady. It doesn't go up and down as much as the S&P. Okay, there's the first one. Let's do the next one. All right, we're going to repeat with stock P. Let me show you how to do this. You highlight the S&P, hit Control, and then highlight stock B. See that? So S&P and B are stocky. So now we're going to go to Insert on a bar chart. I'm sorry, a scatter plot. And hover over any point, right click, add the trend line, get the gray box over here. We're going to add the display equation and the R squared on the chart. And there it is. Get up there, you. So again, stock B is not as volatile as the S&P. So in other words, it goes kind of slow with the price changes. Next. Stock C, we're going to highlight these guys. Control ABC, we're going to highlight C. Insert. Scatter plot. Hover, hover, hover. Right click. Add trend line. Go over to the gray side. Highlight. I'm sorry. Pull down. Display. R squared. Now R squared is, if you take the square root of R squared, it gives you R. That's the actual correlation to these points, okay? But that's not the same as this guy. So stock C is much more volatile, right? It's 1.50, which is greater than 1. So that means stock C is more volatile than the S&P. All right. So in other words, stock C is riskier than the big 500. Hold on. All right, D time. S&P highlight. Control D is this guy. Insert. Scatter plot. Scatter plot. Hover, hover, hover. Right click. Add trend line. Gray box over to the right. Scroll down. Display equation R squared. And D. Whoa, D is much more volatile than the S&P, right? Remember, we take the absolute value. So we got 2.36. That's more than twice as one. So that means this thing is more than twice as volatile ups and downs than the S&P. And that's stock D. So C and D are both much more riskier than the big 500. Okay, hold on. All right, last but not least, S&P versus E. So again, we highlight these, hit the control, highlight the E's, insert, scatter plot, hover, 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 right click, add trend line, look at the gray box on the right, display equation on chart and R squared. And this one is 0.5, so that's not as volatile as the S&P. So stocks C and D were more volatile, A, B, and E were less volatile. And that should be it for now. You know, I wish I had real money I could play around with this stuff. Okay, that's it. MGZ out.